It stays with you for a week. Afterwards, God told me to move from where I was at. That Armageddon is here. And to hold heaven dear. So I packed my bags from South Florida and I moved out the city that I was in. God told me, well, everything. That's what the light of God is. When God hands you the light of God, you can either accept it or you can rebuke it. I guess if you're evil, you rebuke it. I don't know. I accepted it. I told him I wasn't worthy of it, and I told him to take it back because he told me if I spoke ill will of him, he would strike me dead. And with reflex, I said, take it back. I don't deserve it because I don't even want to think ill will of you now that I've met you. It's been since August of 2017 since God told me Armageddon's here. It's a lot on you when you meet God. I was bedridden for a couple of months. God kept putting me to sleep because I kept overloading from the information that was beaming down to me. The night I met God, I went online to a site I always go to for years. And people that I know got to meet God too that night. And they're all moving out the way of the war. Armageddon starts with North Korea sneak attacking us. I don't know exactly when it happens, but God told me it's going to happen. That he tries to talk to the leader of North Korea all the time, but he is the most evilest soul here right now. And he planned it last year. Last year, the trumpets were played when he planned it to sneak attack us. I moved from where God told me I would certainly die to where he moved me to a location outside of the city. I've done everything God has asked me to do, and I'm trying to get people to wake up. God said it's a great awakening. So I'm trying to get people to wake up, to look with their eyes and see what's going on in the world that God showed me when he woke me up. Basically, God said I was asleep to everything. And when God hands you the light of God, he gives you the knowledge that there is a heaven. It's the Big Bang. All of the universes out there, that is heaven. We use the stars as lights, and we live in and about the planets. This solar system here is God's. He never leaves it. It's his home. All the planets that are here, from the moon to Earth to Mars to all the rest, Venus, have the cities of gold in them. When you die, angels escort you to him. And God told me we play on him like a big pillow of love and light. God told me that your soul cannot move on from earth until it's made its decision that there is a heaven and there is a hell. And your soul, you, knows it. Then at that point, your soul can move on. God told me sins, basically, when you walk and you're young, you're 5, 6, 8, my case was 9, when you first sin, that's your first step in the darkness. Before that, you're innocent. Then you start walking your path through the darkness to the light or to hell. God told me, well, everything we do here, we do there. That's why we do it. Everything we do here, we do there. God said when you go to the gate, all your sins are washed off of you. And the angels catch you as you shoot out the gate into heaven and escort you back to God, where they teach you from there. The night I met God, one of the sentences that God said was, "We will not let you walk through the kingdom of heaven until you're ready, until we teach you and you're ready. Then, once you've made one trip around the kingdom of heaven, you're grown up and you can go about the kingdom of heaven. There's a lot of things going on up there, and your soul can get frozen," God said. And it does happen out there in the kingdom of heaven, just like it's getting ready to happen down here. Down here, Armageddon's here. When the nuclear bombs go off, God said your soul is frozen for 1,000 years. Your angel guardian, that is someone you know from your family tree, will be standing back from the bomb blast, waiting for the bombs to go off. God said angels' souls can get frozen too from a nuclear bomb blast. Yes, an angel can get frozen from a nuclear bomb blast for 1,000 years too. So they'll stand back. God said that's what all the lights are in the sky, and that's what all the lights are by the sun. Angels are coming to be with him because he's sad right now because Armageddon's here. God said when we founded this country, America, they threw a great big party in heaven. God said every time a spot on the world declares freedom for God and for all, they throw a great big bash in heaven. And God is happy as can be. God said this country has never went wrong because of freedom. God said this country, more souls go to heaven to than anywhere else in the world. God said that throughout all time, when a part of the world unites in freedom, that part of the world, more souls go to heaven than any other part of the world on earth. And they throw a great big party in heaven. Because God said that that part of the world finally got it right and founded their spot in freedom and in God. And God said that is him, that he mixes love and light in our souls, and he brings them here to have their chance to be love and light or to be darkness and evil and go to hell. Once your soul has made up its mind that there is, without no doubt, a heaven and a hell, then your soul can make its journey from earth to either heaven or hell. If your soul doesn't know there's a heaven or a hell, God said your soul does a backflip and comes right back down from the gate into another uterus. Life is at the time of conception. When the sperm hits the egg, your soul is beamed into it as small as an atom. And your guardian angel's there too, with the guardian angel of the mother. Guardian angels take turns, family members take turns coming down here and being your guardian angel. Millions and millions and millions and millions of angels come to the gate night and day, non-stop. When we go home from heaven, when angels go home, they beam up from certain spots, locations around the world. They go back through the gate and they step from sun to sun. You simply look at a sun. If it's your home and you're at and about this sun, you step from this sun to that sun. Well, teleport is what it is. And you're back home. And then you walk in and amongst your home where you live at. You can live 340 or more light years away. Could be your home. God said as we grow up on him, we pick out a spot in heaven where we love to live at. And him and the angels to live there. And a planet to live on too. Sometimes as we grow up on God, there'll be a spot already with family members that have a place that we like to go live at. And we do. God said it's just like here. It's no different. People live together in big families. People live together by themselves. People meet people. Angels meet angels, new angels that you introduce to, just like your friends. And you'll go live there with them for 1,000,000 years and then turn to God because you miss him and ask if you can come home. And you'll come back here to this galaxy to see God, just like you miss your parents when you're away and you have to call them or see them. God told me Armageddon is here. And with the light of God that God handed me comes the knowledge of knowing that Armageddon is here. I couldn't save any of my family. I couldn't save any of my friends. None of them would move with me from South Florida. I begged them to come. I told everyone along my journey here, and I tell everyone where I'm at to stay put outside of a city. Do not move into a city because God told me that North Korea is going to sneak attack us. That he planned this last year and he built 2 palaces on the border of Russia, a little one and a big one, and stocked them with 300 years of food. And his people are already there. His plan is simple. He thinks we're coming in to kill him like we did Saddam Hussein. And he's going to sneak attack us before that happens. He's going to get to the point where he thinks it's getting ready to happen right then and there, because he knows if we do come in within 10 or 15 minutes, we can knock out all his communications, and he will not be able to give the order across his country to fire all of the nuclear missiles and the chemical missiles. God told me North Korea has over 100 nuclear missiles. And God told me North Korea has over 28,000 chemical missiles. God told me they only have so many stage 2 missiles, and they're saving them all for us. Every day that he gets another day, he loads more chemical missiles on stage 2 missiles to fire at us, America. God told me a third of America gets laid waste too. God told me that his plan is that the president will lay waste to North Korea, because when he gives the order to start firing, his order is plain and simple. Fire until you have no more missiles to fire. Fire everything. And God told me he fires dummy missiles up in the air with the real ones. Missiles with nothing in them. Because he's got so many truck missile launchers. And he positions them in the cities. So the cities get destroyed. God told me that is his plan. That once everything gets destroyed, he'll be in hiding on the border of Russia, and he's not going to come out. And we'll think that we killed him because we laid waste to most of the cities over there in North Korea. And he'll just live his life just as he lives it now, just on the border of Russia in his palaces. And God told me he thinks it's better than digging a hole like a rat, like Saddam Hussein had to do. And God told me he watched the whole thing and seen how Saddam Hussein got hung and found. And, well, he doesn't want that to happen to him. So this is his best option, God said, is to sneak attack us. God told me he walks like dominoes, nuclear missiles out to the fleet in the Japan Sea. God told me that when a nuclear missile blows up, guided missiles can't find their target. I looked it up, and it's true. He's just going to walk nuclear missiles like dominoes out to the fleet. God told me there are no secrets. He knows everything. That he buys satellite time from the Russians and satellite time from the Chinese. God told me 25 years ago, when China wanted to open up to the West, they went to him to make chemical drugs, chemical marijuana, chemical bath salts, chemical methamphetamines, chemical cocaine, chemical everything. And God told me that he opened up labs. China went there and opened up labs, showed him how to do it, and trained his people to make the drugs. God told me ships leave all the time from North Korea loaded down with the little baggies already prepackaged drugs so China can sell them to America and the world. God told me everything, is what God told me. That North Korea, when we invade it, we will have to put down over 100,000 people that are locked up in dungeons and cages underneath the ground, and places that we didn't nuke that have no more brains, that are basically monsters from the chemicals that they have been testing on them for years and keeping them alive. That the people have no more brains. They've been keeping them alive and testing and testing and testing more and more chemicals on it. God told me that Kim Jong-un the leader of North Korea, makes Hitler look like a baby. When I asked God why he couldn't shoot a lightning bolt up the guy's ass, God told me that souls eviler than him and Hitler have turned from the darkness to the light and are really awesome angels in heaven today. I kept asking God that one over and over again because I like the answer. I dedicated my life to turning people from the darkness to the light. Ever since I met God, it's 2018, June. Wednesday, the beginning of June. I moved. I always give myself to the end of April that it could come at any time after April. I give myself that long to move. It's a lot when you move. I moved all the way from South Florida. I moved a long way. I had to get rid of everything that I have. I give most of my stuff away because I couldn't take it with me. And I'm living outside of a small town in the woods. I got a little piece of land, hunting and fishing. So I'm doing hunting and fishing again. It's been years since I did it, and I love it. I cook on an open fire, just as I did as a kid, and I am off the grid. I took the little bit of money I had, and I bought an electric car that God told me to buy, an electric bike that God told me to buy, and a wind turbine generator that God told me to buy. And I am preparing for Armageddon. I don't know how long the phones will be out. In each state, it will be different. But if you move out the cities and move into the countryside, God told me he could not predict evil. So he could not tell me where the nuclear missiles were going to land. The only thing he could tell me for sure was that they're going to land in the cities, is where they're going to land. God told me we get attacked with chemical missiles too. And he's sorry, but he could not do nothing about that to protect me. That the chemicals will blow like dust in the wind from one end of America to the other, and to stay inside for a week when the war starts, to lock myself in wherever I'm at for a week, come out on the 8th day, that the missiles are packed with snowflakes, and they're the chemicals called Korean dust, times a million. His chemists and scientists have found a way to make it stick, where it doesn't matter how much gets in your body or how little. God told me one snowflake can make 100 people go insane. It's a drug, and it kicks all of your glands on wide open. God told me it's love and light trapped inside of a demon is how you'll be if these chemicals get into you. God told me you live for about a month to 2 months. You slowly die from infection because your body cannot rejuvenate itself and fight off infection. And you slowly die from infection. God told me that we get attacked with a lot of it. Once our fleet gets laid waste to, the missiles start raining down on America. God told me there's nothing he can do about it. He's trying to talk to Kim, and he is sad right now. because Armageddon is here. God told me to tell everyone it is not the end of the world. It is the beginning of the world. That we do ban nuclear missiles and we ban nuclear power plants right after the war. God told me the first 5 years of the war are going to be the worst and it'll last for about 10 years. God told me once America's flying fortresses start up, they fly night and day for the whole 10 years and more. God said every plane that we have gets called into action. And God told me that the president does build that wall on the Mexican border. It's a bunch of training camps to train soldiers for war, is what the president does, as he builds training facilities all up and down the border. And that's where you'll be going. If you're a young kid today, I believe the age of the draft is all the way up to 40. I'm not sure. I'm 50. I'd go if they'd let me. I tried to enlist when I was young and they wouldn't take me. But I do believe God told me that they are going to drop the age of the draft. It's going to be dropped probably to the age of 16, is what God told me. And it's soon. The war is soon. We get sneak attack soon. It's June 2018 right now. I knew anytime after the end of April, the war would come. Every day I get with God and the planet with no nuclear radiation on it is a great day. Once again, I am a messenger for God. This is a message from God. Wake up. Move out the cities. If you live in America, move out the cities. North Korea is going to sneak attack us soon. It's 2018 now. I met God last year. I'm sorry it took me so long to get this message out. God told me everything. God told me there are no secrets. North Korea knows everything. There are no secrets. To move out the cities. Armageddon is here. And to hold heaven dear. That it is not the end of the world. It is the beginning. We ban nuclear missiles once again and nuclear power plants. God said soon after the war, nuclear science and computer science mesh together and we come up with the machines. We invent them. Nuclear power with no byproduct of nuclear waste. Once we do that, we start cleaning up the nuclear mess. And in 1,000 years, we clean it all up. And we do not stop the machines. In 1,000 years, we'll have the whole world. It will be heaven on earth. And at that point, we do not stop the machines. You have to realize there is a time difference in earth and heaven. 1,000 years is only one day in heaven. So the time is soon, as it says in the Bible. Only a couple days. But here, a couple thousand years. There's another 1,000 to go until the earth is purified. Then it will be heaven on earth, is what God told me. I am a messenger for God. God bless America, and God bless the world. If you don't believe in God and you watch this and you see what's going on, move out the cities. If you do believe in God and you watch this and you don't see and look at what's going on in the world, God told me what it takes to be evil and go to hell. You have to do your sins and think that they're funny. God told me, the leader of North Korea, that's always why he's laughing. Does all 10 sins and he thinks they're all funny, is what God told me. That's what it takes to be evil. That's what it takes to be pure evil. And God said the leader of North Korea is the most evilest soul here right now, is what God told me. To move out the city. Armageddon is here. And to hold heaven dear. I don't know if it happens this year. I think it does. I think it happens this summer before the winter. I think we get sneak attack this summer. Me because God said, Kim, the leader of North Korea is just going to do it out the blue one day. When he thinks we're coming in to get him, and he sees that we're too close to his borders, and our buildup keeps building up, and our troops get closer and closer and closer, that's when he's going to give the order out the blue. He's going to go to his two palaces on the border near Russia, and he is going to give the order, and his troops will follow the order to a T. They will fire every missile they got until they are laid waste to. God told me he's positioning all his missile launchers where when we fire back, we lay waste to the cities. And God said he thinks it's funny that he's the only one on earth that knows this, is what God told me. Well, he's not the only one on earth that knows this. I met God last year, and God told me this, what he has planned, and that Armageddon is here, and how evil he is. God told me he rapes and kills babies as soon as they can walk, and he thinks it's funny. He kills whole families, and he thinks it's funny. God told me he feeds people poison that don't know it and watches them slowly die and thinks it's funny that they're asking for help. God told me Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, is the most evilest soul here right now, and does and will make Hitler look like a baby when we are sneak attacked and we invade the country and find all the dungeons underneath every single city that there is. God told me to tell you, just look at a satellite photo of North Korea at night, and where there could be light and there's not, there's evil in the land. Look at a satellite photo of the United Arab World to all the countries over there that could have light and spots where they take their people and basically enslave them and don't give them anything and keep the money off of themselves, just like this dictator, that the United Arab world, most of it, rises up and attacks us too when they see that we have been laid waste to by North Korea. That's when they declare war on us too. And we're fighting for our lives at that point. God told me Armageddon is at hand. And the great war whore is here to hold heaven dear once again, is what God told me. Everything. God bless America and God bless the world. I'll keep making videos all the way up until Armageddon is here, trying to get people to listen to the message from God that God gives me as I go every day, as I pray and get more messages from God. I will come online and share all the messages he gives me with the world, hoping and praying that the people that were there that night are moving out the path of certain destruction as I did. God told me that night when I met him, and I went online so people that I knew could meet him too, that it's been a long, long time since that many people got to meet him. God told me all of this, and I thank him and love him for it, for awakening me and opening my eyes, and now I am awake. I have the light of God. It's in the Bible. Jesus' disciples had it. God told me that he could not explain to them like he could explain to me now about the heavens. He could only explain to them in that way of which they knew. He could explain more to me because we have the Hubble telescope and we can see all into the heavens everywhere. That's what God told me. It's been a long time since he's got to hand someone the light of God, and a whole bunch of other people that I pray every day are moving out of the cities that they were in. I asked God that night to let me meet one person in person that night. I was online, and I did. Her name is Eminem, and she lives in Paris. And she's moving out the way of the war. God told me that the leader of North Korea is going to attack other places too. That America isn't the only place he's going to attack with his nuclear missiles. There's other spots he's going to fire nuclear missiles at too, and chemical missiles, because he has so many of them. God told me everything. Whole heaven dear. Everyone, the great war whore is here. The time is now and near. Move out the cities. I love everyone, and God bless America. Good night.